Mr. Lynch is recognized. Ms. Crockett, you're rudely interrupting Mr. Lynch's 5 minutes.
Well,
I've already said without objection, so ordered.
Okay. Americans are going to continue to live through chaos and destruction that has been occurring ever since he swore in January. And I hope y'all remember who caused this, because it wasn't
the
just
gentlelady's time has
it was
expired.
Also the congressional Republicans.
The gentlelady's time has expired. The American people gave President Trump a mandate to drain the swamp, and they expect us to deliver on that promise. Our massively growing debt and interest threaten every single American, their children, and every generation to come.
The exchange between Jasmine Crockett and Marjorie Taylor Greene shows the clash that defines Washington politics right now. Crockett comes in swinging, painting Republicans as reckless operators who weaken the government for their own benefit. She tells the audience that their entire agenda is about stripping away protections, stealing data, and handing out favors to billionaires. Crockett does not hold back. She even tries to rebrand Trump's team with an insult spelling out DOGE as disinformation, obstruction, greed, and exploitation. In her view, that single word sums up what she sees as the Republican program.
All of this talk about lowering costs and reducing waste is absolute BS. Their agenda is about one thing, making the federal government so weak that they can exploit it for their personal gain. They're stealing your data to help their companies. They're taking away your health care and food assistance to fund tax cuts for billionaires. Their agenda is pro-disinformation, pro-obstruction, pro-greed, and pro-exploitation. If you didn't know, that's what DOGE actually spells out. D, disinformation, O, obstruction, G, greed, and E, exploitation. The reason that people like me say things like y'all are in a cult is because somehow people are abdicating their duties and abdicating the very people that put them into office. But I got 30 seconds. They've allowed this administration to steal congressionally approved money for cancer research and food delivery to vulnerable communities. They've allowed Elon Musk to infiltrate your medical records and banking data. They've allowed this administration to ignore court rulings, and now Republicans are here patting themselves on the back, literally arguing to make this chaos permanent. So Americans are going to continue to live through chaos and destruction that has been occurring ever since he swore in January. And I hope y'all remember who caused this, because it wasn't
the gentlelady's time has expired.
Also the congressional Republicans.
The gentlelady's time has expired. The American people gave President Trump a mandate to drain the swamp, and they expect us to deliver on that promise. Our massively growing debt and interest threaten every single American, their children, and every generation to come. The United States is now $37 trillion in debt. In fiscal year 2024, the government spent over $1.8 trillion, more than it took in. And in fiscal year 2025, the interest on our debt is expected to exceed $1 trillion, more than our military budget. We need to be brutally honest about how this massive debt came to be in the first place. It originated from Congress and elected presidential administrations for decades. We are grateful that President Trump's DOGE team has already identified at least $180 billion in federal savings. However, without legislative action, these hard-won cuts could be reversed by the stroke of a pen with a future administration. After all, we listen to Democrats every single day make fun of, attack, and criticize the efforts of DOGE. They don't take it serious. They want government to be bigger and bigger and bigger until we completely collapse. Congress must use every tool at our disposal to make the hard work of the Trump administration permanent. 2 weeks ago, House Republicans took the first step in codifying the DOGE cuts by passing the White House's $9.4 billion rescissions package. This is only the first step. The Senate must immediately pass these cuts and send them to President Trump's desk. We must continue to codify every penny of DOGE cuts through rescissions and the appropriations process. This is our mandate. This is our duty. The legislative branch can't sit on the sidelines. In this subcommittee, we will fight the war on waste shoulder to shoulder with President Trump. We've held hearings exposing billions in improper payments, corrupt NGOs pushing destructive policies, and taxpayer-funded media like NPR and PBS that serve elite interests over the public good. We've uncovered shocking examples like USAID funneling money to undermine U.S. interest abroad, lavish spending on empty federal buildings, and so-called nonprofits bankrolling illegal immigration.
Her points are sharp and emotional. She says Republicans let cancer research funds get stolen, they let money for food deliveries to vulnerable communities vanish, and they let Elon Musk gain access to sensitive records. She claims the administration is ignoring court rulings while Republicans applaud the chaos. Crockett tells voters to remember who created this mess, and she draws a straight line from Trump's time in office to the dysfunction she describes. Her message is simple. Republicans are driving destruction, and Democrats are the only ones trying to protect communities.
Today, we heard more egregious examples of Americans' hard-earned tax dollars being abused to promote genital mutilation of children, fund the Green New Deal scam, fund terrorists overseas, and fund hundreds of billions of improper payments. The American people overwhelmingly support the cuts. And I don't know what faulty polls my Democrat colleagues are using to back their claims, saying otherwise, but I've never heard of any legitimate poll that adds up to 110%, like the one on their poster that was displayed here today. What a joke. What a pathetic example. My God. Maybe they should support spending a little more on teaching actual mathematics in the classrooms and a little less on seeking to advance racial justice in mathematics, like the National Science Foundation grant. Regardless, we know the American people are behind the DOGE efforts, and we know the American people don't believe stupid fake polls that have math that make no sense. Exposing this waste and abuse is only half the battle. To win this war, we need to make sure these cuts aren't just temporary. That means passing laws to streamline agencies, eliminate redundant programs, and give the president the authority to fire bureaucrats who don't do their jobs, the same bureaucrats that go ahead and give out these grants that mutilate children, gives money to USAID to do regime change in foreign countries, and so many more stupid, horrible things the American people don't want to spend their money on. Slashing waste, fraud, and abuse from the federal government provides real savings for the American people. We as lawmakers should pass new DOGE cuts every single day and make cutting waste, fraud, and abuse our top priority. Instead of growing the government, we should be slashing the government. The government is far too big. It's like an overgrown, out-of-control animal, and the American people are beginning to hate it.
When Crockett's time runs out, Greene jumps in. The shift in tone is instant. Greene is not defensive. She moves straight into offense and treats Crockett's speech like background noise. She starts with the debt. $37 trillion. $1 trillion in interest coming in the next fiscal year. Numbers that sound almost impossible to comprehend. Greene insists this debt is a threat to every American and every generation to come. Then she lays out where it comes from. Decades of Congress and presidents spending money they did not have.
I have a unanimous consent.
Without objection.
Thank you so much. This is just from a couple of hours ago. Trump pivots to distractions as polls show collapsing support for his agenda.
Without objection, so ordered.
The next one is Donald Trump's approval rating plunges in multiple polls.
Without objection, so
The next
ordered.
one, Donald Trump's approval rating. New polls show shakeup over Iran bombing.
Without objection, so ordered.
The next one, Trump's approval rating drops to term low amid Israel-Iran war.
Without objection, so ordered. I hope you're not reading the same thing from your phone, which it looked like. I now recognize.
clarification-
I now recognize Mr. Lynch from Massachusetts for 5 minutes.
I just want to clarify. I can give you the sources because
Mr. Lynch is recognized. Ms. Crockett, you're rudely interrupting Mr. Lynch's 5 minutes.
Well,
I've
Ms.
already said without objection, so ordered.
Okay, then there we go. And we'll make
Mr.
sure you got it.
Lynch is recognized, Ms. Crockett, for 5 minutes. Thank you.
Greene doubled down with the same energy. She told the room that Trump's DOGE program had already pulled back nearly $200 billion in savings and that Congress had no choice but to lock those cuts into law. In her telling, it was not about convenience but about duty, because the next president could erase the progress with a single signature. She cast it as a mandate from voters, not just a partisan preference. Greene then ran through her greatest hits. She accused agencies of losing billions in improper payments, called out USAID for working against American interests, mocked federal buildings that sit empty, and blasted nonprofits she said bankroll illegal immigration. She even circled back to culture war themes, saying tax dollars were being funneled into gender surgeries for minors, the Green New Deal, and overseas groups she labeled terrorists. Her language was sharp and mocking, especially when she ridiculed a Democratic poll that totaled more than 100%. The picture she painted was the same as before, a federal government swollen and corrupted. Her prescription did not change either: slice it down, strip its excess, and give the president the tools to crush bureaucracy.